Good evening and thanks for your company. Our story on Monday night about Pauline Hanson has not only created plenty of controversy, but it's also attracted the attention of the police. The fraud squad has contacted Today Tonight and has now been given our tapes from that interview. The question is, why? Laura Sparks has more.
Every election I get hit with a bloody summons, or I've got, charges laid against me every bloody time.
This outburst attracted the attention of the Queensland Police Fraud Squad.
The electoral funding has always been a frigging issue every time I stood.
They want our tapes as part of a continuing investigation into the $202,000 of federal election funding from 2007 transferred from Pauline's United Australia Party into another party account, controlled only by Pauline and a close friend. We handed the tapes over this afternoon.
It was put into an account and it was transferred into the same Pauline's United Australia Party account.
Why would you transfer
Laura,
it?
I'm not going to get into a debate with you over our internal politics with the party. Everything is above board.
But why would you transfer it from one
problems,
account to the next if they're both Pauline's United Australia Party?
I have no problems with it whatsoever.
Transferring public funds around in different accounts is an unusual situation.
Professor Brian Costa is part of Swinburne University's Institute for Social Research. He's an expert on election funding.
I find it interesting that Queensland Police have sought to subpoena Today Tonight's tapes and records about interviews. I mean, obviously they're gathering as much information as they can.
As he explains it, the Commonwealth Electoral Act leaves itself open to abuse of election funding. Every candidate who polls more than 4% of first preference votes gets around $2 a vote without providing any receipts.
The ball fact of it is that she doesn't have to declare what she spent the money on. She has to declare that she spent the money. This again is the deficiency in the Act. It really is a bit of a free-for-all. Any alleged offence is not related to the Commonwealth Electoral Act, but has got something to do with this transferring of funds that are going on, and that's attracted the interest of the Queensland Police.
This is one of the documents that raises questions over Pauline's use of election funding. In it, the new National Management Committee of Pauline's United Australia Party, appointed almost a year after her failed Senate campaign in 2007, passed a motion that Pauline receives $1,000 a week plus expenses incurred by the party dating back to June 2007.
Just on the face of this, it does strike me as a little unusual, particularly since Ms Hanson is a member really of the committee that seemingly approved this. And it's a very small group. There's only 3 people who constitute what you might call what we'd recognise as the executive of the party. So I think it's unusual.
Pauline admitted to us that she'd spent $105,000 on campaign expenses prior to the election.
But you got the 200, you paid 100 for the campaign, but you didn't get in. So why would you still need to access the 100,000 that's left? Because you're not in Parliament.
No, you do have costs, Laura.
What, after?
And running. Well,
after the campaign finishes.
I'm actually still campaigning. I'm doing a bit of campaigning wherever I go or whatever I do and that type of thing. So maybe it's phone, because I'm also, my phone bill, maybe my mobile phone.
But hang on, but why should we be paying for your phone bill?
No, you're not paying
well, it was
for
taxpayers' dollars. The 200,000 is taxpayers'
Laura,
dollars.
do you go and ask the political party what they did, the Liberal and Labor, what they did with their $47 million? I think we're splitting hairs here.
There's been no other candidate that's been able to win this cash bonanza like this and get more than 4% of the vote, not get elected and collect all the money.
Federal MP Michael Danby has been campaigning for the Electoral Act to be tightened since Pauline first stood as an independent in 2004.
This is an anomaly that any sensible and rational government should clear up, because the Australian people don't want their money spent on purposes for which it wasn't intended.
I think it's a legitimate matter of public interest. I think Ms Hanson probably sees it in another light.
Me totally different to every other bloody candidate that stands. Yes, I do wonder why I bloody go through all this.
We'll keep you posted on what happens there. Now, legislation to create greater transparency in electoral funding will be introduced to federal parliament later in the year. Now, it's not just a fight